Rod here. Let's see, I'm gonna try and get things started here. Yeah. So tonight we're gonna be booting up Scribblet. Continue our drawing of Link. App is already updated, so let's boot this up. Might also want to turn on the desk cam so I can show the mouse clicks. It's funny that you know, we're doing art, but you know, showing the mouse click is it's just a funny thing. Let me see, where is it? Where is it? This one? Nope, it's not that one. Oh, I was in the wrong source there. There we go. Oh yes, now it shows the app. So this is Scribblet. Oh, got some new drawings. This one looks pretty cool. That's not my artwork, by the way. So this is like submitted drawings from the community for Scribblet. Scribblet is an online Pictionary game you can download for free on Steam. And I've been using it to not only play the game portion of Scribblet, but also using it as like a drawing app, just for funsies. So this is what we're working on. There's an image on Link from Tears of the Kingdom. I think I started this one back in March, towards the end of the March, so this was last week where we left off. Left off, and then we can continue tonight. Yeah, let's hop into creative mode. They used to call it free draw mode or something like that. Yeah, free draw mode. So now they've renamed it to free creative mode or something like that, or just creative mode. I guess our new drawing and or open up a previous drawing and continue to edit. So this is what we're gonna do. That's the last save image, and start or continue where we last left off on this. Oh yeah, I've got to check the turn on the cam for this part here. Hello. I feel like the exposure is a little bit too high. Let me see if I can adjust that. I don't know why it keeps on like auto-adjusting itself. So we have two monitors set up, and most of the chat windows and stuff are off to one monitor, while Scribblet is set off to its own monitor. But I have Scribblet set to window mode, so I can actually have a little bit of room for like the desktop and stuff. So bring the exposure down a little bit, just a tiny bit. Might appear a little bit smoother too. Also got 8-bit Mario pin that I got from PAX East. Pretty sweet. I actually wore this earlier today when I went to see the Super Mario Brothers movie. The person that was at the desk when I was purchasing the tickets, they already knew before I said any word that I was gonna, you know, would want to watch the Mario movie, as they noticed the pin. Let me see. So there's a mouse indicator on the bottom, in the corner there, and we have the cam set up there. The only thing, you know, the camera's covering is the brush sizes. 1, 2, 3 sizes. I can also use the mouse wheel scroll to adjust the size of the brush. There's like an undo, redo, Control Z, Control Y, clear button, and then there's a save icon here, right underneath. There's the basic layout of Scribblet for the creative mode. Get the brush, eraser, paint fill bucket, and then the shapes, filled, unfilled, outline, and line tool, so you can do your straight lines and stuff. Color wheel, color picker, eyedropper, and then preset of colors. And then there's this transparency bar. So yeah, very basic. Wait, did they remove the chat again? I think they removed the chat again. I don't know why. Or I think they put it in the box. Let me see. Hello, Hyrule. Oh, nice. There's a chat window. It doesn't pop up anymore. It used to pop out right here, like about this way high. But now I guess it's just folded right in to the panel. It's pretty neat. A little bit more organized. Normally I would have like past drawings in this corner, so I could enable it and have it like that, or you know, I could just completely just disable it. I think for the mouse indicator, it would show, you know, when I'm clicking left and right and stuff. But let me see if we can adjust it a little bit more. I want to try and crop it so that it appears more like smaller. Probably just do this on the fly. You slowly notice that the bottom part will be cut off a little bit. There we go. I think I'll leave to about that much. Yeah. I could probably move it around, adjust it some more. Maybe have it on top of the cam, so that, you know, they're all in one place or whatever. Let's see what I can do here. Oh, I would have to move the layer over. There you go, something like that. I could maybe crop it a little more. We just continue to move it. Let's see how it looks when I crop it more. Oh no, this is the keyboard. There we go. Crop for the mouse. Let's try how this is gonna look, but what's this now? Okay, interesting, interesting. Could try to move it a little more, but I think just about somewhere here is fine. You can actually see the clicking right on top of the layout, the overlay for the little TV there. TV/cam. All right, let me see even just a little more. Move it up a little bit. There we go. That's pretty neat. Mouse indicator. I feel like I could maybe set like a text underneath it and say, oh yeah, there's the mouse clicks cam or whatever. Mouse cam, desk cam, click cam, or mouse click cam. I don't know. All right. Cool. Yeah, we're still in, you know, beta phase and of like trying to find a, you know, a more adjusting layout for Scribblet, because they continue to, you know, readjust the layout for the Scribblet app creative mode. Let's see. So I guess we just gotta adjust with it. Let's see. Put on past drawings. I don't know what I had previously for showing the link drawing or the link photo that I took at PAX East. So let me see if I can find this. Oh wait, I think I got it. There we go. Is this right? Oh yeah, it is. There we go. Well, I can actually see my mouse cursor there too. So I don't know if I want to leave it down here. I could possibly move it around and place it over the cam or something. I'm not sure, but this will probably be temporary because this is gonna be the drawing that we're focusing on and trying to match. So I think tonight we're gonna try and work more details on either the hair, the facial features, maybe the hand. This will be, I don't know, more on the details, I guess, on the clothing. So we'll see. But yeah, there's a statue of Link over at PAX East. I was there for Thursday, and I think I shot it the same morning when I walked into the building to get to the convention center. Adventure on Conventure. But yeah, Nintendo had a Tears of the Kingdom sort of booth that you can pose with Link statue, and it's pretty much like a giant amiibo, pretty much giant Link amiibo. Because the actual amiibo that comes bundled with the game that's gonna be released later this year or this month, I want to say, has the exact same pose for that Link, putting his arm out like that. So yeah, let's see. Yep, just gonna leave that hovering around. Let's gonna move this scribblet. Just gonna have some room for other things. All right. Hopefully the sound is okay. Just gonna have to throw some tunes into Winamp. You can see the each of the tracks are listed, scrolling at the top there. I might want to move that a little closer to the right, but I don't know. Maybe next session I'll probably do that. So this app is very simple when it comes to creative mode. There's no layers. There's a single layer. Cannot zoom in, cannot zoom out. But I can resize the brush, and that's about it. And it can only go so small. So yeah, it's very simplistic, and we're drawing with mouse, so it's probably the most challenging. All right. See a little more coloring on the hair. No idea how long this drawing will take, but depending on how much detail I put into it, it could turn out to be like a three session. But this is the second session, so I don't know how much like how detailed I want this drawing to be, but maybe just enough to, just to get every part of his body drawn. Well, at least from his hip upward to his hair. And I don't know. We'll see once we once we feel satisfied, we'll try to finalize it. Yeah, so I started off with the background, blue skies, some clouds, and then I drew this piece of land floating in the sky. Then I think that took about like an hour just to get that. And then I started on Link, got the shape of his body down, his pose and everything, and then add some color in. And so far it's still pretty sketchy. And I was just like fine-tuning the drawing. like I might want to readjust his hair a little bit more. And also, I'll have to readjust the face a bit. But yeah, I just got back from watching that movie, the new Super Mario Brothers movie, and it was great. It was just as I would expect it. From the looks of the trailers and all that, I knew it was gonna be a fun time, and yeah, turned out pretty well. I didn't mind the voice acting at all. They didn't really bother me as much. But they did the characters well. Definitely how they are portrayed in the games and the animated series, or the old animated series. So I was pretty happy about that. Action, adventure, story is pretty simple. Bowser wants to take over the world or destroy the Mushroom Kingdom, and the heroes stop him from doing that. But yeah, we'll probably get more into the details later on. I feel like I should probably make his eyes a little bit more rounder. Whoa. I didn't set the bitrate too high. Had to lower down the resolution a little bit more. Get a solid 720, and the bitrate is about closing in almost like 3,000 kilos. So it should be okay. Plus we've got like other stuff running in the background. Having his eyes like whited out like this makes it look like Oni Link from Majora's Mask. I always want to replay some of those games again. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we'll get to more of his eyes later on. I don't want to get his like nose aligned a little more, his mouth, so it doesn't look too weird and out of you know, out of alignment. Might not want to use the dark color there. Having no, I mean, I do have a mouse pad, but like just doing this on like, you know, just wood, like a wooden desk, it's okay. I think it depends on like both the the mouse itself and also the surface. If the surface is like flat, that's like you know, most important. You gotta have a flat surface when using mouse and stuff. There were some years where I had I was using like a CD disc, like an actual CD within a, not like the disc, but the jewel case. Oh man, some of those years were so archaic because I didn't have like a. I think I did have a proper mouse pad, but it was just starting to wear out. So I had to use like a CD jewel case, which actually worked out fine. It's just that it's like a limited amount of space you can move the mouse in. I'll get some shading in. Ooh. Get that shade in. And then it was like another year where I had like a cardboard, like just a square cardboard, and just used that for a little bit. And again, it's just gonna have like a flat surface. And I was just testing it out with like a wireless mouse and wireless keyboard accessory at that time. Yeah, it seems to work just fine. Not sure if this is the right color for the shade. Like Link's hair. Could use some shadows. At least have some dark parts. It's gonna be a whole lot of clicking here. There are some moments where, I guess, based on the Breath of the Wild Link, his hair would be like a little more brownish looking. than it is blonde. But I guess it makes sense. There's yet to be like a link where his hair is more darker colored. Unless it's like in the shadows, like in the caves or something. Or like a different link. Shadow link or something, dark link. Aside from A Link to the Past, where he would have like pink hair, and that's probably like the only iteration where he would have hair color that's out of the ordinary. Yeah, we'll have to try and reshape his hair a bit. See if anyone can recognize this tune. Yeah, the mouse clicks are coming through the mic. We are definitely clicking. I feel like some folks might appreciate the ASMR-ish sounds of the mouse clicks, and I don't know. There might be some folks that do not like the sound of it. I have no idea. I haven't heard any feedback on that, but maybe the mouse clicks don't really sound too much. Not sure about this part here. Go into more details on the hair. Get up close to it. I feel like this back part needs to be more round. Also more shaded, possibly. Whoa. Oh, there's a Pokemon too. I'll just let it play. The next one coming up after this, though, it's gonna be a little bit more bumpy. Notice the Pokemon channel on Twitch has been showing the animated series. Well, they're back to showing the animated series again. They would marathon it from time to time, including the movies too. Sometimes they would show the movies. I would catch them sometimes when they're on. But now they're back to doing like Diamond and Pearl, which I haven't really seen much of. But there's just so many of those episodes that it's just hard to keep track. Hopefully they're still doing the mainline Japanese animated movies. There hasn't been one announced yet, but I feel like they should have one by now. And they probably do. I haven't really seen what's new. Aside from the games, I guess. And I feel like they should base one off of the current game, which is Violet and Scarlet. Pokemon Violet, Scarlet. So yeah, they should base one off of those. That era. Oh, here we go. Here's the old remix. That did for the 25th anniversary for Mario. Yeah, that Mario Brothers movie made such good use of the music. I recognized each of the tunes as they were revealing each of the characters and areas. It's pretty neat. A lot of the melodies were recognizable, but hearing them in like orchestrated form and all filmic was just, I don't know, it was just so pleasant. And I feel like Koji Kondo would definitely be proud. And I know that he's seen the premiere. He was at the premiere of the film. I don't know where they screened it, but I saw some photos on Twitter where one person met with Koji Kondo. Surprising to see him at a premiere, but it makes sense because, you know, he worked on the music for the games, and he was actually, his name was in the credits as well as like the consultant, I think, the music consultant. So he must have had a part in directing where to place certain bits in pieces of music for the film, which is pretty neat. That's the kind of stuff that you don't really hear much about when it comes to like movie reviews. Is like the music portion of the music, or the film, I mean. But knowing at least where the source of the music came from is good enough, I think. You just gotta know, whose theme it is that it's supposed to represent. When Donkey Kong enters the arena, that part. And of course, the Mario rap at the beginning. So that video is like all over. You can watch it on YouTube. The Mario Brothers plumbing, where they would sample the Mario rap from Super Show, the old animated series. animated slash live action with Captain Lou. It's funny to see. I'm making Lick's hair look like pizza slices or something. Maybe, I don't know, like leaves or something. Kind of look more like leaves. I don't know what kind of style I want to make this. It could be like a... I don't want it to look too amateurish, although it might just turn out to be that way. But if I can make it more like stylish in a way, that'll be great. I think this is like a sort of an experiment to see if I could find a definitive style using Skribbl. I don't know. We'll see what we can come up with. It's part of the hair. I'm gonna have to make the outside lines here disappear. These were the sketch lines to see if I could shape up the head part. But it looks kind of cool when it's like there. It almost looks experimental, like something from like, I don't know, Spider-Verse or something, but not as cool as Spider-Verse. Wait, it's got that sketchy look to it. I also did get to see the trailer for the new Spider-Verse film. They showed it right before the Mario Brothers movie. They also showed Blue Beetle, based on a DC property. Looks pretty neat. I think at first, like the first few seconds when the main guy transforms and puts on that suit, that Beetle suit, it sort of reminds me of the Guyver again. And they'll probably never come up with a Guyver movie, which is sad because this day and age, you know, we see a lot of these superhero movies, and ever since Iron Man, like that first Iron Man movie, which I saw in theaters, I've always wanted to see how a Guyver movie would be like because of how they displayed how the Iron Man Mach 3, or whichever version of that suit is, taps onto the body. And just the way that, you know, they animate it onto the body just reminds me so much of the Guyver. How much I want to see like a Guyver movie in that sort of a style. Just the way that he flies around in the sky and stuff, like, man, they could totally make a Guyver movie. If they had the right studio and budget, they could come up with a really good Guyver movie. I kind of almost... I thought about it again when I went to see the Predator movie, whichever was the one before Prey. So I think it was The Predator with the in it, either The Predator or The Predators or something like that. I don't know. but the one with Shane Black. Yeah, Shane Black produced or directed, whichever it was. I forgot what year that was. Might have been like 2017, 2018. Might have been 2018, 2019. That one was a bit strange, but fun. More comedic. But the last part of it was wicked cool. It was unlike Alien, as we knew before it, but very sci-fi, like sci-fi action, rather than like sci-fi horror. And like that moment made me want a Guyver movie again. And yeah, we're just never gonna get that Guyver movie. But it's okay. Like, I don't think the world needs to see what the Guyver has to offer. But you just have to be an old school Japanese anime fan to know about it. It's something I used to, grow up watching back in the early 90s. Into the late 90s. And then and again in the 2000s, because they did a remake of the more closely in tune with the manga, the original manga. And apparently the original author or artist, manga artist, was still pumping issues, putting out issue after issue in those years. I think it's right now it's on a halt, so I don't think the artist is doing any more issues right now. And there's been other companies that have put out licensed figures, like action figures, or I guess statues, based on that property, which is pretty cool. I've seen some of them, some of the new ones, which is really good. There's like a female Guyver as well, based on the old animated film before they came out with the series, animated series. But yeah, there's definitely some good stuff out there for the Guyver fans. Yeah, that was the Sandman, huh? Alright, let's do a save. So what we gotta remember to do is periodically save. Alright, so we got sideburns here. Yeah, I dug up my old hard drives and found my old remixes and covers of some of the Zelda tunes. I was playing them last time, so I might have it in queue for this playlist. I'll probably play a little later though. But it's just the themes for Ilia's theme and I think the Great Fairy Fountain. So those will probably pop up later. Had to export like the acoustic piano version. I just had to out that one to MP3 format last week. Oh yeah, they did show the new TMNT trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's the same trailer you can see anywhere else on the YouTube and stuff. Pretty excited for that one as well. Seth Rogen. Makes sense that they showed up because Seth Rogen also voiced Donkey Kong. I think he did Donkey Kong, yeah. I think the best character that was voiced in Mario Brothers movie was probably Jack Black, who did Bowser. Fits the character so well because of the rock music, and like they had a scene where, this might be spoilers, but where all the Koopas were rocking out, and there's some good scenes with Bowser. Very musical scenes too. So it's not entirely musical in any way, but there's some singing in there. Even though, you know, it was an unlikely character that does the singing. But yeah, definitely some funny moments. Yeah, I feel like Jack Black was a perfect choice. Can't go wrong with that. Charles Martinet also did some voices. Glad they were able to assign him a couple roles. So not only did he do one character, but two characters. And yeah, I think folks would be pleasantly surprised. It's just weird that like the internet was just crying out in hopes that you know, Charles Martinet would be casted. Just gotta give it some time, and things go well. You know, we might get what we want. You know. So yeah, I think they did the right thing. It was great to have Charles Martinet part of the movie. So I think they had the right team. Miyamoto, the guy behind Illumination, they did a pretty good job. I don't think there's much to dislike about the movie. Alright, I don't know if I want to go with brown here. Kind of want to go with like a lighter tan or something. Not sure. Might also want to take a closer look at how this arm actually is supposed to look like, with all the wraps around it. Although I might want to add some dark spots here or there. Not too much though. Okay. Still looking a little bit sketchy though. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Like some of these parts needs to be a little bit more darker. It's a little bit laggy though, but just gonna roll with it, I guess. This part needs to be a bit more shadowy. Zoom in on this arm. It's at like slightly different angle, but should be fine. Oh, there's the one with the breakbeat. Haven't heard this one for a while. If only they make this like wheel a little bit bigger, so I can like actually get in there and select the right color, especially around the dark spots and maybe the lighter spots too. But mostly the dark spots, I think, the dark corner. It's trying to get the right color, but it's like sometimes it just doesn't, you know, can't get the right color. The darker is a very dark color. Actually, this might be the right color I want to use. Just gotta be very careful with it. Seems like this is another layer of this glove, though I'm not sure now. Still gotta add like the patterns for underneath this this forearm part, which shouldn't be too difficult. Although doing it later than sooner is I don't know, takes a little bit of concentration. Try and get it down. I should probably do that before I add some more shading to this, so you can get his elbow to extend a little more, so you can actually get the details in, the deets. Ba-ba-ba. Alright. They somewhat like this color. Gotta be careful with this one. something like that. There we go, we got some sort of pattern there going. Oh, there's a beat. And I hear that they're making a new Street Fighter series or film, I guess? Yeah, I think it's a new film. Like live action. No idea who's gonna star in it. But I do know that Legendary Pictures, I mean, is gonna be working on it. And knowing that label, they've done some really serious, like, great films. They did the Godzilla vs. Kong, the Monsterverse, which is still going. They've done a whole lot. And for them to take on the Street Fighter series, that's gonna be wild. Oh, they also did the Mortal Kombat, so seeing how the Mortal Kombat film did so well, I think they'll definitely do well with Street Fighter. Alright, looks like he's got some chains. I feel like the chains are gonna be like the chainmail on his arms would be difficult. Try and get all the details in. Let's see. Yeah, I'm saving that. I feel like the glove needs to be more reddish colored, but it's good. I'm trying to get this this elbow pad, or what it's called. I don't know if it's supposed to be like cloth textured or what. Maybe it's supposed to be rubbery. Who knows? But it's like a grayish green color. So you can get a dark. Try to get some lines in here. Yeah, it's really somewhat this color, I think. It almost looks like part of like a turtleneck. Oh man, I haven't played Fall Guys in a long time. They haven't really put out any new stuff. It's been the same old content. They continue to like recycle the past events and past skins. not many new stuff, or at least any exciting stuff. What they could have done, team up with Nintendo to do some Mario stuff, but that would have lined up nicely with the movie. Would have been a nice cross-promotional thing. Hey there, Pufferson. How are you? Yeah. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like, Fall Guys could use some new content. We're doing good. Just here doing some art, relaxing, chillaxing, talking Nintendo stuff. This is our second night working on this Link drawing. I watched the new Super Mario Brothers movie earlier today, so I'm pretty excited with that. Now I just gotta wait for it to release on Blu-ray so I can just own it. I saw that Walmart has put out a limited edition that comes with a Superstar tin case to store the Blu-ray disc, which is pretty neat. It's a very light color here. Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, definitely. Looks like it might be another like Game of the Year contender. But we'll see how it is once it releases later this month. I was at PAX East a couple weeks ago, or whenever it was, and was hoping they would bring Tears of the Kingdom over to demo, but it was just the statue that they had. So this was the photo that I shot when I was there. And they had a large Link statue right at the main entrance. So yeah, we're basing this drawing off of that. Apparently, this is the same pose that Link does for the Amiibo. So you could probably say that, you know, it was a giant Link Amiibo at PAX East. Seen the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom? Can't wait, yeah. Yeah, it looks really good. It looks more story-based. Like, it seems like Breath of the Wild didn't really do much for the story. And, like, they left like a bit of the story for the second game. Because it looks like Tears of the Kingdom would be picking up right after where Breath of the Wild left off. At least I assume. But I like the fact that like from the looks of the trailer and stuff, it seems to harken back to like A Link Between Worlds, or I mean A Link to the Past. And I guess A Link Between Worlds too, if you want to count the follow-up to that. But it seems to cover like a lot of the Master Sword stuff. Like all the stories of the Master Sword that featured the Master Sword. Because I think this Tears of the Kingdom would be mostly focusing on the Master Sword. And maybe trying to restore the Master Sword. So, curious to see how they do about this next story here. Oh yeah, Fi? Fi? Is it Fi or Fi? I think it might be Fi. Fi Fi Fo Fum. mean, she could. So if they're covering A Link to the Past, a little bit of Skyward Sword, you know, with the, you know, the sky towers and all the floating islands and stuff. Like, they have to have Skyward Sword stuff in there, so you could see Fi. Or maybe Fi is already part of the sword, or at least about to, like, I don't know, become part of the sword to help restore it or something, because, you know, she is the spirit of the Master Sword. So I'd imagine, I don't know, maybe a return of some of those characters. And if they do reappear, then I'm curious to see how they look like now in this iteration. I actually did a drawing of Fi for Inktober, I think last year. This is a black and white drawing with ink, and only ink. So she made a cameo of Breath of the Wild. Oh, interesting. Like the game itself. So one of the memories. Oh, interesting. I hadn't played Breath of the Wild, but it seems like a very popular entry. I was thinking to maybe pick it up on the Wii U, but just haven't got around to it. I might just dive straight into Tears of the Kingdom and just skip Breath of the Wild. Because from the looks of it, it looks like Tears of the Kingdom is taking place in the same location as Breath of the Wild. So I probably wouldn't have missed much. So anything that I miss in Breath of the Wild, I could probably just re-explore it. Or just explore it for the first time in Tears of the Kingdom. So if they're bringing all the mechanics over from Breath of the Wild, then, you know, that, I guess, you know, it's Breath of the Wild, but then, like, with an added story to it, I guess, in that sense. But I love the past entries. Starting from A Link to the Past, and that was like one of the first games, Zelda games that I played. Alright, let me see. I feel like this part needs to be a little darker. I'm sure there's not much to the story for the Breath of the Wild. That's like, you know, that important. But I kind of assume what might have happened with some of the outcome of how Link appears. Like maybe he got his arm destroyed or something, if I were to guess. Trying to defend Hyrule or something. And fighting Ganon. Or Ganondorf. I don't know which form would pop up in Breath of the Wild. But usually, you know, both forms of Ganon would appear in each of the games, so. And from the looks of how Link appears in some of the images that I've seen for Tears of the Kingdom, it seems like he lost his arm or something. Or at least tried to save or sacrifice himself and got himself, you know, hurt. Which is why his shirt was like, you know, was ripped. And like his whole right arm is like burnt or whatever. But that would be pretty well. At least that's what I want to think. What may have happened. So, I don't know, I feel like if I were to just jump straight into Tears of the Kingdom, they would probably have to like summarize what happened in Breath of the Wild at the beginning of the game, and then, you know, continue on from there. At least I hope that's what they would do, because I'm not sure I want to, you know, dive into Breath of the Wild now. I can always go back though and see what happened. But I think at the moment it's just I'm more interested in Tears of the Kingdom rather than Breath of the Wild. So last true like mainline Zelda game that I played was Skyward Sword, and been thinking to maybe revisit some of those older games. Malice caught his arm in one of the trailers. Oh. Alright, so the statue did not have this part of his arm ripped or anything, or, you know, his clothing or whatever. So I'm just adding this at my own will, because I feel like that's what is going to make this drawing a little bit more interesting, is to have the ripped shirt around the chest, and then his right chest here would be like a little bit burnt or whatever. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think tonight we're just adding more details to it, make it look more... I don't know what the word is. More detailed. I think the first night is just getting the shape and then the colors in. So now just make it more sharper and more detailed. So we got some past drawings down here in the corner. Some more detailed than others. These drawings have been done for the past 2 years, I think, using the same program, Scribblet. All drawn with the mouse. No, this is not commissioned. This is just I'm just doing this for fun. Just for funsies. If it's commissioned, I'll be using like Photoshop, something more, you know, industry standard. Yeah, we'll probably be using Photoshop or Illustrator, but we'll probably still be using a mouse, though. I don't have any tablets or anything. But I do commissions, though. Sometimes raster, sometimes vector art. Right, it's the old Zelda tune, Twilight Princess. Do I have a site? No, I don't have a site. Just have an email address and Twitter, and that's about it. And then, you know, just the streaming sites that I'm on. But email is probably the way to contact, or there'll be some folks that will be on Discord, and they will contact me through there. Otherwise, I think Twitter. do music as well. Can't figure out Discord for yeah. Yeah, Discord is okay. It's kind of like Skype and IRC combined. But yeah, it's just just gotta, you know, add people, I guess. I mean, you don't have to add, but you like the way you message folks on there, you gotta know the username to search. And then the usernames for Discord would be like in letters, and then you have to have the little hashtag or pound, I guess. Like yeah, it's like a pound key and then the numbers attached to that name, and that's how you find folks. So like the person that you're trying to contact would have to know their username before they, you know, before they can tell you what it is. I gotta see how the design looks on his shirt. It's probably like a sword or something, like a shape of a sword, like a master sword or something. All right. Champion's Tunic? Yeah, you can follow Twitter. I think the link should be in the profile description or whatever. I don't really post much of my art on there. Sometimes, if I remember to, I do post it up on there. But I don't know. I don't remember the last time I put artwork on there. But sometimes I do, though. I mostly tweet about whatever. Very rarely do I tweet like once a week or something. Maybe not even. Like more like once a month. Alright, I don't know how this shirt is supposed to look like though. I might have to look it up, see how the sword part is supposed to appear. Alright, Breath of the Wild, like okay, so it does look like it's supposed to be like a sword or some sort. Sword design. It almost reminds me of like the Wind Waker piece of clothing that he has receives from his nanny or whatever. I've got whether or not if it's his nanny. It's been 20 years since I last played Wind Waker. Back in 2003 was the last time. Back on the GameCube. Wow, 20 years is a long time. But I'd love to revisit that game. Such a fantastic game. Okay, there are some triangles over here. Then the blade part would go down this way. And then I think the sleeve would have like a stripe. Alright. That's good. Very simple design on the shirt. Wait, it kicked you out? On Twitter? Yeah, I think once you complete Wind Waker, you get to wear the same outfit that his grandma gives you, or gives Link, completely in that with that outfit on. You play it a second time, so I might want to do that. I don't know. I still have my old save file, so I haven't checked it for, you know, that long ago. So hopefully that save file is still there. I've got the old memory card. I actually booted up, brought my GameCube back out. It's right in front of me right now. And I booted up Double Dash, Mario Kart Double Dash the other day. Or the other month, I should say. Just as a throwback, just to revisit some of the old games. And I got all the characters unlocked in Mario Kart Double Dash. So let's see if the other games still are still working. I've been revisiting some of the old games that I used to play, dating back to the N64. So I got both the N64 and the GameCube set up. The N64 is right here. Right now there's the gold controller just hanging out. My old Ocarina of Time cartridge. Save file is still on there. I think my cousin's save file is also on there. I let him borrow my cartridge, and it returned in not so good condition. That's how I remembered it when I let him borrow it. So when I received it back, I was like, "What is this? Is this my cartridge? It looks so different." Because I kept it in really neat condition. Like all my games, I always keep it in good condition. Like I keep the box, I keep the manuals and stuff. Sometimes even the plastic that it came wrapped with when you buy it. So like for games like Pokemon Snap, which I bought within the first week of release, still has the plastic on it. And that's probably like the only N64 game that it still has the plastic along with it. For the other games, I lost most of the boxes. I think Wave Race, I don't know what happened to my copy of Wave Race. I must have let someone borrow it and never returned it or something. But usually that's the case. Do I have a Switch? Yeah. We've been featuring Switch games from 2020 and up. So I've been playing, I think ever since I got the Switch, it's like March of 2020, just before the whole pandemic occurred. And I've been streaming it like on a daily basis. Animal Crossing New Horizons, that came out in like April 2020, so it's about a month after. Wait, March, April? Yeah, so it was April that I got it. Or started with that one. So April 2020, and then like pretty much every day since. So we've been on like every day since that year. Featuring the Switch games. But I mostly play like Monster Hunter. Back and forth between the old games and the new games for Monster Hunter. My friend lent me his capture device to capture like some of the more modern systems, HD or HDMI. So I hook up the Wii U and stuff, and the Switch. I'm able to broadcast some of the new systems. Previously, it's been like composite, so whatever I can hook up through composite, like GameCube or N64, the Wii. Like those are some of the systems that I would broadcast back in the day. Leading up to like once we start hitting the HD era, that's when I took a little hiatus because I couldn't upgrade my hardware. But yeah, thanks to a friend of mine. He was able to hook me up. Scarlet Violet? No, I haven't played it yet. I still have yet to finish Legends, Pokemon Legends Arceus? Yeah, Arceus. Like, still in the middle of that game, but hadn't really gone back to it. I also played Pokemon Unite. I still put it up day after day just to collect coins, and that's pretty much it. I haven't really played much Pokemon for a while. Alright, so you can get the chains here going. It's gonna be a bit difficult. Oh my god, it's so pixelated when I zoom in. Yeah, Scarlet Violet. I mean, I like Lechonk. Lechonk is the Porky Pig of that. I did a drawing of that too. It might have shown up in the slideshow. Pokemon Unite frustrated you? Yeah. Yeah, I feel the frustration of that too. Like, that's why I haven't really gone back to playing it. Like, actually playing it. I still boot it up just to collect the coins, and that's about it. I used to stream that, like, pretty much every night. And, the same thing goes night after night. Like, I cannot get like a you know, dedicated team to play with. So just random with, you know, random players online. And, yeah. It's like 50-50. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And yeah, I just got, like you, I just got frustrated with it. So I was like, man, why do they team me up with you know, new players? Like, it should be so that you can you know, queue up with like players that are the same level as you know, or the same level as I am, but it's not the case. And I don't know if they ever fixed that. Like the matchmaking. Matchmaking in general is just like terrible. That goes for a lot of like online competitive games. You need to have great matchmaking for a game to last. And for a game like that, oof, you gotta have like a dedicated team to even you know, do well in that. Yeah, it would have been nice, yeah. But yeah, they do have some good stuff here and there. They still continue to update it. I forgot what other monster that, or what other Pokemon that they're planning to add. Oh, I think it was Lapras. Yeah, Lapras is making an appearance next. I don't know if it's gonna be a playable character, or maybe it's part of the like the legendaries that they're gonna put at the, you know, the center of the map. And they added boss mode, so that's pretty neat. I actually requested that sort of mode for the surveys that they put out. Like over a year later, they finally added to the game. So it's like, man, couldn't they just have this at the beginning? Because I would have loved to play that. But yeah, I mean, it's just too competitive, and you don't always team up with the right people. But if they were at like co-op mode, like for the boss rush mode or whatever, at the very beginning, I would still probably would have played more. But I don't know. There's just too many games. Too many games. Not enough time. Starting to look like fish scales. Yeah, I hear there's some issues with Scarlet and Violet, and I don't know. I'm pretty settled with Legends Arceus. I'll just probably stick to Legends Arceus for a little bit. Man, I can barely see the chains on this arm. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking to maybe play a game, but I don't know. There's a part of me that it's like, no, I don't think they fixed the matchmaking. So I still continue to boot it up just to collect the coins, and that's about it. Other than that, I think I prefer to play Monster Hunter. Oh, actually, the same. I think the same team that have worked on Pokemon Unite is also making a Monster Hunter game. So they're gonna make a Monster Hunter mobile game, and there's no other details announced yet, other than they're making it. And we don't know if it's gonna be like traditional style Monster Hunter, or maybe it's gonna be like more mobily like the past iterations. But that would be something that I would definitely want to try and feature if they put it on Nintendo Switch or something. Maybe both Switch and mobile, like how they did Pokemon Unite. Because that'll be interesting. I'll definitely want to try and feature it. Oh man, these chains are tough to draw. But yeah, I love Monster Hunter. I feel like not many people are into this series. I don't know. I'm just like pretty addicted to Monster Hunter series. And curious to see what they do with that that mobile game. Alright, save that. That's good enough. I feel like I should add more chains over here. Yeah, I read that Miyamoto said that there might be some Mario news on the way soon. So hopefully maybe around E3, which is a few months away, we'll start to hear news about a new Mario game in the works. No idea if it's going to be on Switch or what, but it might be a new like mainline Mario game on the way. So I'm looking forward to that. I still have yet to play Odyssey. I've been revisiting some of the old Mario Karts. So along with Double Dash, I've been trying to feature some of the DS games on the Wii U. So we had Mario Kart DS, which I do own a physical copy of, but I also bought it again digitally for the Wii U and been featuring that. That's a good way to capture the games, is through the Wii U. I think my goal for Mario Kart DS is to get through mirror mode and unlock Rob, because he was playable in the DS version. I feel like I should make this like more like really chain looking. I'm not sure. How the chain appears in the photo there is very blurry. I can almost make out a little bit of it. Literally was typing that, haven't played Odyssey. Oh yeah, really? Wow. Yeah, I still have yet to like catch up on some of the Switch games, because I got my Switch a little late. Well, at least, you know, just a few years late. Just in time for Animal Crossing, and that's about where I got my start on the Switch. Just didn't have the funds to get my own, so was thanks to my friend that dropped by my house and just like handed me a Switch like out of nowhere. Like here, and a brand new copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons, because he knew that I was a big fan of the series. Man, kind of wish I could zoom in on this image so I can focus on the chains. The chains are always like, they're tough to draw. Because it has to be like so linked, you know? And equal. Got yours around the same time? Animal Crossing first game? Nice. Yeah, along with New Horizons, I think we also threw in like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna step away for a little bit. Be right back. Sorry about that. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Got some water. Yeah, the chains are usually the tough part, because it has to be like, I don't know, like, this like a certain like level of accuracy. I kind of want to get the chains to appear. Seeing that we only have like this amount of space to maneuver. Man, I don't know how this chain is gonna look like. Hopefully I can get it down. Looks like it's just like rings. Like thinner than how like normal chains look. Oh, I wonder if it's like, I wonder if these chains are supposed to be ripped, like broken off or something, or maybe it's supposed to cover his chest. No idea. Sometimes it's good to maybe research to make sure we we get the details down. So I don't know how it's supposed to look. Like with him, like with the shirt off and stuff. Or what's underneath the shirt. I feel like I should probably add more darker colors underneath there. That makes sense if they're broken. Haven't looked at the image that closely. Yeah, I've got a feeling that if he's got this part torn, then I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I could probably make it look like maybe the chains have broken off as well. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it before I move in more with this part here. I don't know. It could be like, I don't know, maybe partially it would still be intact. Who knows? But yeah, it does look cool though when it's like just hanging around the shoulder or whatever. Because whatever the statue shows is just, you know, it's just that. Like it's before, you know, he gets that part messed up. And it would be cool if like I'm just curious to see what else they could do with Link. Like what other powers can he gain? Like what other abilities? He's able to move islands now. Boulders and islands it's like an upgraded gauntlet, but even more. Like it covers more than just his hands, but like his entire arm. So it's a lot more powerful than he's ever been. Kind of like the eyes, the way they look. Yeah. Oh, the eyes, yeah. Yeah, I still gotta work on them. But so far the shape of it's, you know, I'm more satisfied with the shape than how it was before. But I kind of want to save the eyes for the end. So once I finish the rest of the body, I'll probably go into the eyes, and that's when you know that we're about to finish the drawing. I tend to like now making that a thing where, you know, if I'm doing a character drawing, I'll save the eyes for the last part. So right now he's kind of like a looking like an Oni Link from Majora's Mask. And I feel like that would be the case too. Like, what if chronologically, like this iteration of Link in Tears of the Kingdom would somehow turn out to be like Oni Link, and we're seeing that future. Because if you play Majora's Mask and you get to the end, you get that that Oni Link unlocked or whatever, and you get to play him for like a moment. From what I recall, the last time I played Majora's Mask was back in like 2002, and that was like the last time I played it. But Oni Link, oh my gosh, I even have a statue of him, which was sculpted by First 4 Figures. Old release that they did way back when, and now it's like highly sought after, really expensive statue. But I have that statue. I have the Sheik statue that they did many years ago. Now that company is like way more popular now, and they're pumping out statue after statue and selling them in like retail shops like GameStop and stuff. So they're a lot more popular now. But Oni Link, like, what if this Link that's in Tears of the Kingdom turns out to be that same Link that's seen in Majora's Mask. Because that would be wild if the story hits that way, and then that's where it's gonna connect with the past titles. And seeing how dark, like, the trailers for Tears of the Kingdom is, and seeing the Re-Dead and stuff, like, it sort of harkens back to like Majora's Mask, I feel, in a way. But that would be pretty wild. Oni Link is a Shadow Link. I mean, there's Shadow Link, and then there's the Dark Link. Yeah, Shadow Link, Dark Link. Then there's the Oni Link, and the Oni Link is the one that has, like, no pupils in the eyes. It's like just whited eyes, like that. And he has this giant sword. I don't know if it's the fairy sword. No, it's not a fairy sword. It's like a unique sword that he carries, and it's not the Master Sword, because it looks totally different. But and he has a different outfit too. So there's like a I would have to draw him someday. He has, like, I think he has white hair, if I recall. Yeah, he has like white hair or something like that. So think like Street Fighter Akuma. So Akuma would turn into Oni, which is like a much more demonic Akuma. And I feel like Oni Link is sort of like that. He's like a more demonic Link, but like, I don't know, like a more godlike, I think. More so godlike rather than, demon-like. But yeah, I think that's where they're trying to head to, is like Link is becoming this strong enough being that he becomes like, godlike. But it's not like overpowered by that by whatever is affecting his body or whatever, because he's still able to control it. But what if, like, he loses control, like sort of how like Ryu from Street Fighter learns the Dark Hado, and then he turns into evil Ryu because the Dark Hado just overcomes, him and takes over. So then he becomes like evil Ryu. Kind of like how Akuma is, like, he craves that power. And Akuma is always like searching for an opponent to fight. So it's like, that's why he's like so demonic. But yeah, and that'll be interesting if they go that path, but I'm not sure if they would go that path for Link, though. They still want to make Link the hero, but what if, It's just that question, like, what if? It's kind of like how it's like the Marvel series, What If series. Yeah, the deity. Yeah, that's what it is, the deity. So yeah, what if they do that path, like, can we see more of that? Like, that is the question. Can we see more of that? The Fierce Deity. Is that what it is? Fierce Deity Link, or Oni Link, as some would call it, depending on, Japanese version or US version. I forgot that, he had another name. But yeah, Fierce Deity Link. Man, that'll be cool if they bring him back. Because there's a lot of fans out there that would love to see that version of Link. Because we only get to, play him as like for a moment in Majora's Mask. I would love to revisit that game though. One of these days I'll definitely boot up the N64 app on the Switch and just start a new file or something. Alright, I'm not sure if I want to continue the chains. At least until I can add more darker colors back here or something. Alright, so you can add some shadows. Yeah, I love theorizing, like what could be, like what would be possible. How old am I? I mean, I probably wouldn't say straight out, but I can give you clues, and it'll probably be obvious. But I'll just say that, you know, the same year that the NES came out, and also Super Mario Brothers. So I think that should be a good enough clue. The year of the Goonies, the year of Back to the Future, and a whole mess of other things. What else? Gem and Holograms, Breakfast Club, some classics, 80s classics. Whoops. Another big hint. But yeah. I like to associate myself to with lots of Nintendo stuff, and just 80s in general. Gotta love the 80s. Oh my gosh, man, thinking about that, there's a lot of 80s representation in the Super Mario Brothers movie. Like, even some of the choice of music that they featured on there in the movie itself. Yeah, so some 80s classics in there. But yeah, good, fun movie. Fun for the family. It's just strange that, you know, they took them like another 30 years for them to make another movie. Like the 1993 one was okay, but it wasn't what fans expected from a Super Mario movie back in '93. That one, the Double Dragon movie, that also came out that year. Man, was I really excited to watch that Double Dragon movie when I was a kid. And then once I saw it, I was like, what? What even is this? The costumes were cool though when they transformed, but like, I didn't expect the comedy to be there though. The comedy was just like out of nowhere, but it was still a fun like watch though. But seeing it, like, I think when you watch it as an adult, it's just like, you know, it's just so baffling. Yes, sir? Oh, really? Nice. Yeah, it just came out today. So I got to watch it early in the day. Try to catch the first showing. And there was an option for either 3D or 2D. I just took the standard 2D, since that was like the next like showing that they had. But yeah, it's a pretty fun movie. Definitely family friendly for sure. I'd say how they originally intended it, but more in lines with the 1986 Japanese animated film, which you can probably look up on YouTube. But there's actually an animated one that was released in Japan. It was a VHS release, and it was about both Mario and Luigi trying to save Princess Peach from Bowser, because Bowser kidnapped Peach, as he normally does. And then Mario, like, he got sucked into the TV, like, as he's playing like a video game or whatever. Sort of in the same way as like Kevin Keane from Captain M. as he's playing Punch Out, and then goes into the Mushroom Kingdom and tries to save the princess. Pretty neat little animation that possibly not a lot of people have seen because it's only released in Japan. But yeah, the new movie is kind of like similar to that, more along the lines of that. I feel like more people should know about it. "3D movies make you sick?" Oh man. Yeah, I'm pretty fine with 3D movies. As long as they make good use of it. I think one that really stood out for me was Tron Legacy. I think they made really good use of that. Because you enter the grid, and that's when the 3D turns on. Like the first like 20 minutes, like it's like 2D, but you have the glasses on. It's like, huh, how come we're still seeing it in 2D? It's like nothing's happening until Flynn's son enters the arcade, Flynn's arcade, unlocks the secret door using a Nokia N8. There's a Nokia N8 in there, and then he enters the grid, and that's when it turns 3D. Like that was like one of the best usage of 3D in that year, 2010 or something like that. Saw it in theaters. But that was really cool. Now seeing that that they might be working on a new Tron movie. Finally. And I really hope so, because I would love to see more Tron. Yeah. I love Nokia. Sadly, they still got bought out by Microsoft. Oh, I'm all about the Nokias, man. I have one right here. Still using one of their last devices, the 1020. Mainly use it as a camera nowadays. But yeah, that one runs like Windows Phone OS. There's some other devices. I've got a whole bunch of them. Some of the past devices were really ahead of their time. If only they stuck with like first party, because they had like in-house OS that they put out as they were collaborating with Microsoft, but they didn't go with that MeeGo OS, and Android was on the rise at that time in 2011, but they went with Microsoft instead, which was a terrible move. But I don't know. I kind of like how, what they came out with, what they tried to do, but it just couldn't catch up with the market. I think it wasn't caught on. And now we're seeing all these features that some of the other platforms have been adding, and then like, whereas Lumia has had that feature for a long time. Some of the accessories that it came out with for the Nokia devices were way ahead of its time. Like decade ahead of like what Apple's doing now. Nowadays you see a lot of phones focusing on the camera, whereas Nokia's been doing for decades. They've been focusing for the camera on their devices for a long time. Indestructible, yep. They're famously known for that. 3311. Classic. They actually came out with a remake of that specific model. So there's like a new version of it. The same shape, but more updated OS. Pretty neat though. They've made a few of them, a few of the remakes of the classics. It's funny that they do that though, like for phones, re-releasing old models, but in a more updated version of it. But I feel like it doesn't, like their devices don't really caught up on they don't get caught on with like the US market. Like, I don't know, like some of them they do get sold in like stores like Best Buy and stuff, but like I don't know, I feel like the US market doesn't really bite their products as much. But it's more like a nostalgia thing. It's only like for the old folks that that remember Nokia for what they were. But yeah, like some of those old remakes, they actually come packed with pre-installed with Snake, the old Snake game. So that was pretty funny. Good old Nokia. Just for nostalgia purpose, yeah. Yeah, good old Snake. I mean, the N-Gage was like one of the first devices that they that really garnered a lot of attention, especially for me. I think that was the one model that because it was their first venture into video games, like the video games area. So combining phone with video games, like that was their idea. And you see it now, like everyone's playing video games on their phones. Like this was an idea that Nokia came out with a long time ago. Like somewhere around 2003, I think. And it just hadn't caught on with the audience until a little later. And by accident too. It's just that they overpriced their product when it came out with the N-Gage, and the design of the phone model was just terrible. The taco phone, as it was nicknamed. Yeah, the shape of it was just terrible. I don't know. But very niche product, overpriced. I remember when they had to drop the price down to like $100. And even then, it's just a lot, and it was just not enough to compete with the Game Boy Advance. Because I think that's what their purpose was, is they were trying to compete with Nintendo's handheld. But yeah, it was just awkward to use too. But they've always innovated. They came up with some really unique designs, like out of this world designs that no other company even bothers to try nowadays. Because you can't really stem out from the typical like slate design for phones or mobile device in general. Or else people would have to like readjust to the new shapes if anyone comes out with like any new shapes or form factors. Like I know that there's some manufacturers that's trying to bring back the old flip design for phones, and that seems to be catching on a little bit. At least in Japan, they never gave up on the flip design. They still use them. But yeah, I feel like the US market is so used to like the slate design. But Nokia came out with a device called the N9 back in 2011. Sort of late in the game, but that was one of the first devices that they did that had an all-screen device with no buttons or no operating button. Everything was done by gestures. Like the only buttons were on the side of the device, so you can adjust the camera and the power buttons, and that's about it. And then operating the system would just require like fingers on the screen. And then you look at today's devices, it's like, what happened to the buttons? What happened to the face buttons? The iPhone used to have their, the circle button at the bottom. Same thing with Samsung. Or I guess generally Android devices would have like buttons at the bottom, and they used to have 4 buttons at the bottom. And then when you look at Windows devices, the Lumia devices had like 3 buttons, or not really buttons, but like touch buttons. And there were 3 of them. There's a home button, there's a back button, and then there's a search key on the right. So 3. And then when you look at today's apps on Android, you have those 3 keys again, on-screen keys. So it's like the influences carry on from some of the past Nokia devices. Like there's Nokia DNA in like today's devices. But yeah, you get, I don't know. Like some of the old ideas was just so great, and they just don't get caught on as fast until a little later. But yeah, they had the ideas down, they just couldn't execute it or get, the mass market to adapt or adopt. Yeah, from time to time I would rant about like all that technology, the mobile scene. Alright. Let's make sure to save that. I feel like I should make his hair a little bit more brownish. Yeah, the days before cell phones. Yeah, the beepers. Pagers and beepers. PDAs. Might still have, I think I still have one of the Palm PDAs. I used to play, Doom on there. There's like a demo of Doom that's like, that would play on there. But it was just weird because you have this touchscreen, and then I would use like a stylus. Yeah, I never had a pager either. That was like a little bit, I was like a little young to own one. But my uncle would have one. And I would like mess around with it. But I remember, I think my friend had one, and I don't know if it was his or not, but he would tell me that they would not write, but like they would type out the number to write a sort of like word or something, just to give them like a heads up to whoever they're contacting. And they would come like this weird way of like typing. So like, 8008, it means one thing. Sort of like calculator in a way. So like using a calculator. But there will be like short messages that you can just dial, and then it will pop up through the pager, or beepers. Some call it beepers, because they would beep. The code lingo, yep. Code lingo. Star 69. Star 69, 411, or some other ones. I guess 0 for operator. Oh, I just remembered another thing. Call collect. Man, the days of call collect. Man, some of the old movies. I can't remember which one exactly, but I remember like a character would like dial collect and try to reach another character in that movie. And we just see the process of it when the character is dialing, like using a whatchamacallit, like a phone booth, and they have to use collect to reach the other character and leave a voicemail or whatever. Call collect Spanish jingle? Oh wow, really? Man, they had a whole jingle. And that reminds me, like one time, I think we were up in Nashua, New Hampshire. So we were shopping, me and my mom, my sis, and we were trying to call, like my mom was trying to call collect back home, and my grandma would pick up. My grandma didn't understand English, so like she would just say no, and she wouldn't accept the collect call, because the other person on the other line would have to collect or have to accept the call, and she just kept on saying no. It was so funny. Thinking back in hindsight, it's just funny. And yeah, I guess my mom was just like frustrated, trying to contact home again. That's like the one, like the only story that I have with like call collect, like personally. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think I've ever used it myself though. Let's see what time we're at. 2 hours? Alright, I think I might want to try and fit in like 3 hours for this session. I feel like this might not be finished tonight. This could possibly be like a three sitting. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like the more I don't know. I feel like maybe I could add some more stuff in the background once I get more details and link. I might think of adding some stuff in the background. I feel like the hair needs to be done just right. I'm trying to add more streaks to the hair. Yeah, it was like Yeah, think back to that night. It was like I think I remember it being rainy too. Oh, speaking of rain, I think we're gonna get some thunderstorms tomorrow. Not sure what I want to feature tomorrow. I kind of want to take a break from 3 Ultimate or Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Maybe go back to some older games or another older game, and possibly I don't know. Could be a Mario Party game or Mario Kart, or maybe something else completely. I don't know. I bought a bunch of like DS games on the Wii U eShop before it closed. Yesterday was like the last day to enter any download codes or game codes for the eShop, because now they completely close it. Can't enter any more codes. Yeah, we're on the East Coast, Massachusetts. So I think most of the Northeast or the East Coast is going to be experiencing some storms tomorrow night. At least last I checked, we're going to get some rain. It was supposed to rain tonight too, but I think it was today, most of today was just like cloudy, like gloomy, cloudy, and cold. But definitely some rain tomorrow. I think last I checked. Here in California, rarely get some storms except for this year. Oh yeah, definitely I heard. I know some people from Cali. Especially around like the Santa Monica area. There's been some rain the past few days. Wait, didn't you guys have like a snow? Like a snow day? Which is very rare. Like you guys barely get snow. Like ever. Like one snow like every 15 years or so. That is very rare though. Like I can't imagine like not being able to see and feel snow for like, you know, that long. You had a little snow, never got oh wait, okay. Okay. So it's just like a little drizzles, or how do they call it? Man, that's pretty wild. I cannot imagine like not being able to feel snow, like actual weather. Like I would love to have rain. I would imagine like around winter time, like actual winter time. Like Cali would get a lot of rain. Cause like other parts of the world, like Southeast Asia, or I guess, you know, most of the Asian areas, like around this time would be like rains, or not. I think it's like later in the year. Like our side would be like wintry cold, whereas over there on the opposite end would be really hot. So like they get the warm weathers, and then we get the cold weathers, or something like that. Like we're off by a season or something like that, a season and a half. Like notice that in Australia too. Like some folks in Australia would be getting a lot of like hot weathers, like right now, or the past few months they've been getting hot weathers, while we are getting like cold weathers. Yeah. Been in snow once before when you're in Mexico? New Mexico. Oh, okay. Man. New Mexico, that's pretty wild. I would expect like that area would be a lot more like warm weathers, like hot areas. Especially Texas. Texas is like probably one of the hottest places. like scorching hot, like 100 degrees, like deathly temperatures. Like hard to be like outside for like 5 minutes. But I've never been to Texas, so I wouldn't know. Australian summers during our winter months, yeah. I noticed that while playing Animal Crossing, because in New Horizons you get to choose like Northern Hemisphere and then Southern Hemisphere. So like some of my Australian friends would have would chose Southern Hemisphere. Then I'll be able to go to their islands, or yeah, they would open their gates and then I would head over to their islands and see that they have like all these different items opposite of what we have in the Northern Hemisphere, which is, yeah, like they already had sharks before we did. We had to wait till summer to get our sharks. But that's funny though. It's cool that they made that a feature, because in the past Animal Crossings you weren't able to do that. Like everyone had the same thing, or the same time of day or whatever. That is it. That's, at least that's what I recall. Leading up to until New Horizons, they start doing the 2 hemisphere thing. My island name? I used to play, I don't play anymore. But man, here's my story with New Horizons. So I started with at April, March, April, yeah, April 2022. No, April 20th, 2020. So I played every day for a full year, and that's it. After that year, I'm done with the game. You know, that's my process with each Animal Crossing game. So started with like my first real jump into an Animal Crossing game where I fully dedicate myself to playing it was City Folk on the Wii. So I streamed that back in 2008. That was a long time ago. And you might find an archive of that somewhere. It's on the YouTube, but it's like set to private. I don't think I've put it out to public. But I streamed that game way back on Ustream, an old streaming site that it's not really relevant nowadays anymore. But back in 2008, that was the place to broadcast video games and stuff. Nintendo was on there, Capcom, 1UP, which was an old game site, 1UP. Kotaku, I think Kotaku was also streaming on there as well. They don't really stream as much though. Let's see. So I had a copy of City Folk. Like I bought multiple copies because there was a Walmart that I just happened to be walking around in with my friend, and they broke the street release date because they had it out in the store shelves a little early, and I didn't know when I was there. So when I walked to the games aisle and I saw that Animal Crossing was out in the shelf, I had to grab it, so I did. And they only had like 2 copies out there, so I picked up both of them. And I was like, what? This game's not even supposed to be out yet. And then, yeah. Snapped a photo. When I was at Walgreens, I snapped a photo. And then tweeted it out on Twitter. Oh, this is back in like 2008. This was like before smartphones became like the norm. So I had my Nokia internet tablet, which is not a phone. It was just it was like a mini tablet, which I still have right here. So you can bring it out real quick. I've got a bunch of stuff that's on it. Might be knocking things over. So this is a, I don't know if I should probably bring the camera up. It's the old Nokia N810, I think. That's the model number. N810. This is how it looked like. Came with a case too. There's like a carrying case to cover it. Very simple. It's like a tag. It says Nokia on there. This thing was like way ahead of its time. And it was just before like tablets became, you know, more known. Like the word tablet, you know. And this was Nokia's tablet. Because it doesn't have cellular service or capable of cellular service or anything. But it would hook up, or it would connect to the Wi-Fi. And that's how I'll be able to, you know, post photos and stuff. And there's a webcam on the front. So you can use the webcam and do video chat on Skype. And Skype would run like perfectly on this device. Nowadays it doesn't, because, you know, Microsoft bought them and things got worse. And again, whatever Microsoft touches, be prepared for disaster. But yeah, this was pretty neat. It had like an LED in the corner, so whenever you get messages or notifications on like AOL Instant Messenger or something, or Pigeon Instant Messenger, you'll get like a notification here in the corner. So LED, way ahead of its time. Barely any devices had like sort of like any notifications like this, where it would light up. So that was pretty neat. Power button on the top. Volume. There's like a minimize, maximize button for you know, any apps that you have open. There's a lock key. There's a stylus on the top corner here. Very nicely placed. Very easy to take, you know, take out and put back in. Touchscreen is not capacitive, it's more resistive. So it's pretty limited in what it can do. There's a D-pad when you slide out the keyboard, physical keyboard, full QWERTY. Space, there's a function key, and you can do the function key to you know, hold on to the function key and then you type in the numbers if you want. It's alternative keys to type. It runs first party OS 2007, then upgradable to 2008. And it was Linux based, so it's just, you know, just imagine like Android but not Android. So this is something like, it was a separate project that Nokia was building in-house, and there's a kickstand that covers the entire unit from side to the other side. So I kind of wish that the Switch had this sort of kickstand where it's not just like one single side, single corner. If it had just like, you know, had covered the entire unit, it would just be more stable and it won't like tip over, like how easily the Switch is able to, you know, tip over easily with that one kick or one piece that, you know, sticks out. So if they had like, I don't know, teamed up with Nokia in sort of how they designed their next system and stuff, like, I don't know, I feel like they would have been, you know, they would have done a little bit better. And then you look at now the OLED model for the Switch is they improved the kickstand a little bit. But if they had just done this in the first place, just put a whole kickstand, like, you know, full unit size, it would just been a, you know, solution. Headphone jack, the charging port. There's also micro SD or micro USB for charging, and then there's a micro SD slot over here. So for expanded space, you can, you know, put a card in there. I would store my MP3s and, you know, just listen to it that way. And then there's like a switch to open up the battery hatch, whatever. But yeah, there's true multitasking. So I could have like music running in the background through a media player, and then browse website, YouTube. It had Flash built in, so I could view YouTube straight off the bat, and it would work, run fine. And yeah, I could do so much with this device back then, but nowadays it doesn't work anymore. I mean, I can turn it on, but it doesn't like browse the web as fast anymore. WebKit, Ajax is, you know, sort of different different encoding for some of the web stuff. But man, so ahead of its time. They actually came up with another model after this, the N900, which I also have, but that one had like true full-on cellular you know, capabilities, so I can actually operate it as like a phone and stuff. So I used that N900 for a long time. Worked really well. And that one was even better. It's just that the screen for that was a little bit smaller. The unit itself is a little smaller, but yeah, I just love Nokia stuff, at least from that era, like from the mid 2000s, leading up to the Lumia. Like those were like probably some of the best and last great eras of Nokia devices. But yeah. Yeah, the OLED has been improved with the stand. Like there's, let me bring out the switch here. So the switch that I have is the first year switch. And yeah, the stand is like just one little tab that comes out. Which is weird because when I saw it, like, why did they choose this path? You know, why did they make it like this? They could either come up with a second one that's on this side, and that would help it stand. But I don't know, the way Nokia does it is a lot better, because like you don't see any other company do that sort of thing for their devices. At the time that was released, that came out in like 2007, so no other device had like kickstand like that, or even thought of putting a kickstand for you know, your mobile handset. And yeah, they did it all. They did it all before anyone else. And I don't know. I guess like other manufacturers just don't take notice of something. They look at what's popular on the market, and then just go by that. But they don't look at what works, you know, what works for this form factor. And Nokia they're always experimenting. Like some of their products that never came out were some wild ideas, but some of those ideas could have worked on the you know, today's market, but they just never came out with it. Like touchscreen was accessible, and they were thinking about doing that, but they didn't. They had what's it called, like a test crowd or something like that, a focus crowd or something like that. Focus group, yeah, focus group. And touchscreen wasn't. It didn't seem like they had any good feedback when they tried that out. But it wasn't until Apple came out with the touchscreen device, and they came out with a capacitive one, and then it seemed to work out for them because they believed in that technology. Whereas Nokia, they were sort of slow at it. They didn't really believe in it. So they stuck with resistive. So this is like an example of that resistive touchscreen. And yeah, I guess that just, you know. And now the outcome became, it was just a little easier to go with capacitive, because, you know, it's just a simple finger touch, and yeah. The rest is history. I guess it's rare to see like any technology that uses resistive nowadays. Like the 3DS had resistive touchscreen, so you had to use a stylus because, you know, the screen is so small. You try to use the finger, but you don't. It's not as accurate. But then that's what I like about the stylus, is that it's more accurate than using a finger. But yeah, it took a while for me to get used to that too, because a lot of the devices that I owned were just like small screen devices, like no more than 5-inch. Like that N810 was like like close to 5. It was like 4.7 or something like that. So it's not quite 5 yet, 5-inch screen. But I think 5 is like around the max I would go for like a handset that would fit in your pocket. And I don't know. Like there would be certain operations that you do on the phone where it would require a little bit of accuracy, so I think stylus works well on that. But most cases nowadays, they design apps where it will just be one-handed operation, and you just use a finger, just use your thumb, and that's about it. So there's no more need of like stylus, I guess, unless you use like a Note, like a Samsung Galaxy Note or something, which has like a bigger screen. Like usually they would have like bigger screens for the Notes, and for that you would use like a stylus or whatever to do whatever. So I feel like the Note series, Samsung sort of like carried on with that idea of using stylus. And my friend owned a Note, and he would have me check it out, and I told him like, man, I feel like this would be what Nokia would have done if they had continued to pump out the N series, which is similar to what they did with the N910 or the N810 and the N900. But I think they stopped pumping out more similar devices like that after the N900. Because after the N900, they went back to capacitive, and they came out with the N9, which is like a, as I mentioned earlier, it was just like an all-screen device, no stylus, just your just gesture operation, no front face buttons, and they were the first to do that. And then you look at nowadays, it's like the common smartphone is like, no face buttons. It's just gestures on the touchscreen. So it's like, yeah, if it works on the general market, that's gonna stick around for a while. Because I guess if you think about it, like a user could like lose their stylus, and then like they would have to get another stylus, right? Because it's just, it comes out of the device, and then one could simply like drop it and then just lose that stylus, which has happened to me with the DS Lite. I've lost like a few stylus, and I have plenty of stylus for the DS. But yeah, there's been times when I lost my stylus, which is fine because I have plenty of them. But yeah, you bought a pack for the DS, yeah. Yeah, Nintendo would give out some stylus too, right? There was like the Club Nintendo redemption thing, where you could opt to get more stylus, and they would send you like a pack. I think I remember getting like a Legend of Zelda. I forget which game. I think might have been either Phantom Hourglass or that other one for the DS. But it was during that promotion where they were offering like free stylus for Club Nintendo members. So I got that one. And the stylus that they sent was like was one that had like a fairy at the end of it, end of that stylus, which was a pretty neat little stylus. Came in a box and stuff. Yeah, was it? I don't remember if it was Minish Cap or not. I feel like might have been one of the DS games. It was either Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks. So it was one of those titles. But I was pretty certain it was like a DS game though. Because Minish Cap would be the one that was on the Game Boy Advance. So shortly after that, it was Phantom Hourglass on the DS. Oh my gosh, this is my chiptune version of the Simpsons theme. Made this many years ago. Pretty short and sweet. Alright, let me see. It's like, I think at the moment I'm just like pretty much just playing around with his hair. Try to get some more streaks in. Yeah, these are just some covers that I made. They were meant, like a lot of these were meant for like videos. Like some are unboxing videos that I did. Like this current one is, you can see on the top. I think it should still show on top. Oh, I'm seeing red, so I might be dropping connection a little bit. Hopefully it's picking back up. But on the top here, there will be a scrolling song, and most of which are untitled because I just keep them that way when I'm, you know, in the process of making the songs. But I never finish them, so whatever the current state is, you know, that's what it is. But yeah, the current one is it was based on The Thing. What's the composer name? Ennio Morricone, Italian producer, I think, or composer. I think he's Italian. I'm not sure, but famous composer. He did the theme song for John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982 classic. And I did an unboxing of the Scream Factory release of the film. It was a remaster in 4K or something like that. A few years back. So I got that in, I did an unboxing of it, and then, you know, I just needed some music to put in the background. So I made my own version of the Thing theme song. So, yep, just did that. Add a bass line, put a beat on top of it. Then you got a breakbeat version of the Thing. But yeah, I like to play around with music as well. But yeah, that was it's a fun one to do. Cause you don't normally see like remixes of like horror theme songs. Other than like Halloween, I feel like Halloween is probably the most popular when it comes to like horror theme song remixes. I feel like I should make my own version too of that, maybe someday. But John Carpenter. You know, there's some other iconic horror themes. I did a Hellraiser one too. I don't know if it's played yet, but there's a Hellraiser one. I made that one for the time-lapse drawing for Pinhead. Pinhead, the Hell Priest from Hellraiser, which I also drew in Scribblet. So a lot of these drawings, once I finished them, once I finished broadcasting them, I would download the videos. I would download the streams and then edit them and convert them to time-lapse videos, and then, you know, later put up to YouTube or whatever. So yeah, and then I would add, like, you know, background music based on, you know, whatever IP it is. Yeah. But yeah, so what we're witnessing now is the slow-mo version or real-time version of these drawings. So when you think about that, it's like, wow, you know, coming from the time-lapse and then going into like the real-time process of these drawings, like, yeah, it's pretty wild to think about. Sounds a little trippy though. Yes, it's fun to like play around with music. But now that I have like a new computer, I just haven't gotten around to like reinstalling some of the software. Like I've got the main DAW, which is the workstation, but I still gotta install a bunch of like plugins to get all the sounds back, and I haven't done that yet. So I would love to like revisit some of the old projects and maybe try to finish some of them. There was like a remix cover of like an old trance classic that I did. But yeah, and my friend who I've known for like a long time, he was he wanted like a version of that track, so I had to send it to him. Yeah, I told him like, oh, if I ever get to, you know, get all the software installed again, I'll definitely, you know, try to finish it, because that song is almost finished. But I have to send him the whatever the latest version of that track was. And for the most part, it was close to finish, but it's just not quite. You know, 100% finished yet. It's like 900. It was like more like 98% finish, but yeah. Yeah, a lot of times, some of these old projects are just never finished. Because after a while, yeah, I just start a new one. Yeah, art takes a while. Whether it's something visual or audible. I guess it's just up to the creator whether or not they feel it's finished. Because sometimes, like, I mean, there's been cases where one person is working on something and they think it's finished, but then when they show it to another person, and then the other person tells them, "Oh yeah, it looks nice," they would compliment on the image, thinking that they're still working on it, but then like the creator has already mentioned that they're already finished with the image. So it's, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, depends on who's viewing it. They could perceive it as like you know, a finished work, whereas, you know, the artist may still be working on it, or maybe they consider that, you know, it's already a finished image, or, you know, piece of work. But maybe it's easy just to call it finished, because you don't feel like you want to work on it anymore, because you already spent so much time on it. But yeah, it is up to the artist, or whoever the creator is. But I kind of want to make this, like, a piece of this arm, like, look like it's glowing. That way, there's some sort of meaning behind why he's raising his hand up like that. His arm, I mean. So if I can make it look like it's appearing as if it's glowing, that'll be cool. Maybe I'll add like some sort of highlights around it, around his fingers or something. I feel like once I start adding the highlights, like on the skin and stuff, it'll look more shiny. Yeah, this will definitely be like maybe a 3-session thing. I'll probably continue to work on this until the game releases. We'll see. I've been meaning to maybe come up with a new starting screen for some of the Zelda games. And I have yet to feature any Zelda games on stream other than Hyrule Warriors. I think that's the only game that's related to the Zelda series that I've ever broadcast. But I've been wanting to do some of the classic Zeldas, like A Link to the Past and, you know, Ocarina of Time and stuff. But yeah, I would love to revisit some of those older games. Glowing with Malice? Yeah, possibly. Wait, his finger should be a lot more longer. You ever watch the old animated Legend of Zelda series? The one that would air on TV back in the day? Like, I would catch that along with the Super Show and Captain N and whatever they came out with I think like Super Mario World or Super Mario Adventures or some of that. But yeah, the one that goes, you know, excuse me, princess. Yeah, that whole funny line. It's such a strange show, though. Thinking about it now, but back then, you know, you just didn't have like, you didn't really have that many like Nintendo-related shows, other than the Super Mario one. Like that's like the show to watch. And then Captain N, I guess. Captain N was a big one. But yeah, that was like my first exposure to like the Legend of Zelda series. Just seeing that the animated series. Never played the games until, you know, until A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. But we would grow up and recognize these characters from the cartoons. And or, you know, toys that would be around, like McDonald's. I think McDonald's had like Mario toys. I used to have like the Luigi one that you can wind back. There's a Luigi on a cloud or something like that. It's one of those wind up toys and then you let it go and it just like zooms forward. But I had the Luigi one, the cloud. And I think there was like a Goomba one as well. Yeah, excuse me, princess. Oh man, imagine if they ever do like a new Zelda movie, albeit even an animated one, like how they do in the new Super Mario Brothers movie. Like they could drop a line and just reference that old cartoon. Like that would be hilarious. First Zelda gameplay was Ocarina of Time. Oh really? Wow, nice. Yeah, for me, oh man. Yeah, it was A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, along with Killer Instinct. I used to play that with my sister. Killer Instinct, typical Street Fighter stuff. Clay Fighter in the arcade and on console. Leading up to the N64, or Ultra 64, as they used to call it. I remember being really excited for that upcoming Nintendo console. Ultra 64, man. That's the old cult name for that next system. But we try to like follow the news in those game magazines, those old game magazines. Electronic Gaming Monthly, Game Pro, Nintendo Power. Like those were some of the ones that we would read. PlayStation had their PSM. I think I still have some issues of those as well. But yeah, Ultra 64. Man, I remember seeing those images and being really excited. Just couldn't wait till it came out. But man, my first eyes on like a 3D Zelda was just wow. I was just amazed. My uncle came over with his copy of the gold cartridge Ocarina of Time, because they would live like a state away, and they would come over and stay for like a weekend or so. And man, we were playing that all night. I didn't have my own copy of that game until a little later though. But then eventually my dad bought me an N64 with Wave Race 64. He almost got me F1 pole position, which was the racing sim. I forgot who makes that, but we almost got that one. And I was like, nope, let's go with the Wave Race. Wave Race looks fun, and all the water. I could have asked for more, but you know, we couldn't afford it, so we can only afford like one game, one system, one game, and it just happened to be Wave Race. So, and Wave Race it was, and that was a fantastic game. I loved it. Wave Race, man, the music for that. Got all that synthwave. I actually revisited that game again recently, like earlier this year, I think, or last year. Man, the music in that, it's just so good. But yeah, Ocarina of Time, I feel like that was one of the first games I ever bought with my own money. It's either Ocarina of Time or Pokemon Snap, either one of those. But I remember one of my classmates who happened to be in my homeroom, like first before like our first like academic class starts. Homeroom. I have a friend who I still know to this day. Like we still hang out and stuff. He would like back in the mid-90s, like he was on his way to pick up Ocarina of Time, him and his brother, so he was my access to that. So I would hand him the money, and then the next day, he would, we would meet up at like publicly, and that's how I got my copy of my own copy of Ocarina of Time. And it was just a standard edition. It wasn't the collector's edition or anything. It was like a month after. So I think you had to pre-order to get the collector's edition at that time with the gold cartridge. But man, that game was just one of the best things that ever happened. Like one of the best games at the time. At least until like GoldenEye came out. Mario Kart 64 was also another great one. I used to borrow that from a neighbor because I was already a huge fan of the Super Nintendo one. And man, just seeing like a 3D Zelda was just great. Same thing with Mario too, seeing a 3D Mario and seeing all the promotional material that they put out for like video, and they would send like VHS tapes to Nintendo Power subscribers. I still have some of those tapes. There was one with Donkey Kong 64, and I think there was another tape that had Gemini Force. I think it's called Gemini Force or Jet Gemini, I think, or something like that. No, I think it is Gemini Force. Gemini Force, which was like this sci-fi adventure game. But yeah, they would promote that one. Oh, maybe it was Jet Force Gemini. I forgot how the naming is for that game. I never played it, but I remember seeing that and looking at the images for that in the Nintendo Power. And the character designs for that is just so weird. It's no wonder it only had like one iteration. I don't know who developed it though. But man, there was some good stuff on that system. Oh yeah, I still have the cartridge right there, right underneath the controller. I've shown it a couple times though. I remember my uncle had he had a hard time trying to beat Dracula in Castlevania 64. Man, that game was just... It looked difficult for sure. I tried playing that myself when I was a little younger. And oh my gosh, yeah, it is definitely a tough game. So he gave me that cartridge. He also had a strategy guide, and I might still have the strategy guide. I haven't looked through my boxes to find it yet, but the cartridge I do still have, and it might still have the save file on one of the memory packs, and I would love to revisit it just to see if I could take on the challenge of Castlevania 64. Oh man. Yeah, I remember trying the first stage and couldn't get past that area. The big giant skeleton at the beginning. And I do remember, like vaguely remember some of the other parts midway. Which never got to complete it myself though. But one of these days I'll definitely want to try and feature it. Because I don't know if Konami would ever put that out for like modern consoles, like the Switch, through the N64 app. Oh, there's Transformers. Yeah, I have no idea what tunes are in the playlist right now, but we'll just you know, we'll just play whatever. All right, let's make sure to save. Where are we at now? I think I'll probably go for like maybe another half hour. Today's been a really fun day. Pretty happy that I got to see the Super Mario Brothers movie. Sadly, my local theater did not have any goodies to pass out. We'd love to have like a poster or something, but it's just a plain ticket, and that's about it. But I did surprisingly find that that they had Mario Kart Arcade GP DX, and two of them at their little arcade section. It's like, wow. I always make the effort to like check to see what new games they've got. And that Mario Kart one is like their latest edition, I guess. Even though, you know, that version of Mario Kart for the arcade has been out for a few years. But that was like my first time seeing that. And I haven't been to my local theater for a while, or this specific theater. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I noticed that the Pac-Man is still in there, and the Taiko drum. So Taiko is a playable character in DX, Arcade GP DX. That's pretty neat. I wonder if they could ever bring those characters over to 8 Deluxe for the Switch. That would be neat. So we'd have Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, maybe Blinky, which is one of the ghosts, because the arcade games were made by Bandai Namco, and it would make sense to include those characters in 8 Deluxe, along with Taiko. Man, if they can get Taiko in there, oof. People were thinking like, what in the world? Who is this? It was surprising a lot of people, but it would make sense because only the folks that have played the arcade games would know the reason behind that character and why it's included in the 8 Deluxe, if they would. But yeah, that would be cool. I could definitely see that being a thing. Alright. I don't know about this hand. I'm just like making it up as I go. I feel like I could add some more shadows for the shirt. Let's go a little bit darker. Sometimes I cannot get the color right, or at least the color that I want. A little too gray though. Let's go a little lighter. I feel like this part needs to be. So we got some shadows here. I think I should have some more shadows across this area. Let's make some creases along the shirt here. Oh snap, the Return of the Living Dead. I feel like, let's see how it looks in the image, the photo. Okay, seems like there's less creases. I just add my own creases in there. Maybe it's best to have less creases here. Let's see. At least on the around the back side here, because it's like a little bit hunched over a little bit. So it makes sense to have like some on the front here. Then we're gonna have a lot of shadows down here on the belt. Huh. This turned out a little bit more gray than I wanted. A little more blue too. Let's bring this up. Sometimes it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's good to like mix in different colors in, just to see what will work. Sometimes it works out. Up. Oh man, can't wait to start adding the highlights. It'll definitely make the image shine a little more. Alright, I don't know what's going on with this belt. Trying to like zoom in on this part here. Seems like it wraps over, like it goes over and then like in. Oh, I see. There's a part here where it continues to go down. Oh, okay. Because belts would do that. Belts would be really extended. Now it makes sense. Sometimes it's just good to know like how some objects are shaped, so you can understand it. So it goes over. Hey there, DHT. Alright, take it easy, Pufferson. Thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, I'll definitely be back on tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'll be featuring though. Normally Thursdays would be like Monster Hunter 3 Ultimates on the Wii U, but I'm trying to like take a break from that for a little bit to maybe feature something else. Yeah, man, nice meeting you, dude. I don't normally get folks over on Kick, but since Kick is starting to get more popular now, I feel like, you know, more people are starting to you know, come around, I guess. We actually started broadcasting on Kick back in December But I think only now, ever since they put out the mobile app for Kick, like there seems to be more people tuning in now, which is cool. Be a great alternative to Twitch. Let's see, we've been going for almost 3.5 hours. Yeah, I still have yet to add more panels over on Kick. But I just copy and paste over to from Twitch over to Kick. If only they add ability for like adding hyperlinks, I'd be able to link like other sources and stuff, Twitter and whatever. Man, I definitely want this belt to shine. Shape of this belt is not quite how I'd like it to be. Oh, this tune was fun to make. It's actually based on a horror film that I grew up watching called House. Wait, is the file name called House? Let's see. Yeah. House 1986. Sean S. Cunningham. I think he was Sean S. Cunningham directed. Best known for the Friday the 13th series and slashers in general, I guess. Okay, so this is one of the I don't know how this is going to be angled. It's one of the pouches. Let's get some more shading in here. Gotta double check to see if the color is right for the belt area. Oh, I just remembered that I gotta do the feathers for the arrows. Yeah, we'll get to it soon enough. And if only there was more room, I would add more of the belt area stuff. I think if the folks became, or the pose that I have Link do was more stylized, I can make it so that his like bodies are all like arched over, and then I would be able to include it. But that would be like a very wild design though. Apparently we gotta add more brown here. Tans and browns for the rest of the belt here. And the buckle part needs to be more goldish looking. Or maybe bronze, gold. But definitely have to be more metallic looking. That way it would stand out. So you can find the right color for this. It's definitely shiny for sure. I think I would have to use the white to make it more shiny. Let's see. I think this side here with the belt would be more yellowish colored. Let's add that. It's more like brownish. The brownish tan. Alright, this one. Pick this color here. Okay, I have the color over the outline. That's okay. I'll have to redraw it again. Zoom out there. Yeah, I think this pouch is like more. I think this other side of the belt should be the same color as this. I think I should lightly go over it. There you go. Let's make sure to color the rest of this. Then maybe also add some shadows. in some more shape. Shape on this side too. Bum, 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 bum. Oh man. I think it would probably be another hour to add like all the feathers for the arrows, and then also the case that it's in. I don't know what it's called. There's gotta be like a term for that. Quills or whatever? No. Okay. Let's see what else. Check the glove area again. I feel like this part needs to be more accented. More shadows in general. Ba, 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 ba. I think this part needs to be a little bit more rounded. Ba, ba, ba. Whoa, old tune. Wow, we're almost reaching the end of this playlist. I think the rest of the way is just like old tunes from way back when. Let me scroll back. Maybe we should start from the top again or something. Got some fun tunes. Oh my gosh. Where's the Wave Race one? Oh man. Good old Wave Race. I feel like I need to broadcast that game again. I feel like I would have to replace like a Wednesday or something. Man, I was trying to figure out how to perform all those tricks on the jet ski. Didn't figure it out until like the end of that stream session. Alright. Man, it's definitely a little bit more detailed than how it was last time. But it's definitely turning out pretty well. I'll definitely have to add more shadows around these parts. The arm. The belts. The shadows and highlights make a difference. Get the base color in, and then Then it's a matter of getting the shadows and lighting right. Come up with a really good image. I guess depends on the style we're going for. There'll be some really good looking art where it's like just solid colors all the way. No need for shadows or whatever. Just depends on how you make use of them. I think I could add more shadows underneath here. Just get a little bit darker. Wow. Hey, we did a lot on this arm. Especially this arm. See some, add some, making the sharpen this part up a little bit. Does it look like, this was like an S shape or something? Not sure what symbol it's supposed to be, but it's very reminiscent of like the glove that he wears in Twilight Princess. Like this whole entire outfit that he wears in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom is it's like a combination of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And sort of how they combine the different elements together for this Link's outfit. Somewhat like that. Still feel I need to add more shadows to the glove. I think it just has to be like a different color. Like underneath, I mean. Oh, thanks, Steve. Yeah, this is our second night with this drawing. I feel like we're gonna need a third night. Possibly next Wednesday or something. I think each of these Wednesdays leading up to the release of Tears of the Kingdom, we'll probably work on this. Oh man, hopefully I can pick up my own copy of the game to maybe feature. So love to play the new Zelda game. Alright. It should have some more shadows on the top and bottom. Let me see. Let's take a quick peek at how it looks when it has highlights. Gotta be really careful though. It's a very small place here. Small space. Try to use the line tool to try and help. Oop. Try this again. Oh. Oh. Too much there. Starting to feel the fatigue, or at least, I don't know, maybe I just need like a more softer surface, because I think the soft surface, like on the table, like basically a mouse pad, which I don't, I mean, I do have a mouse pad, but it's like not presentable in a way, but it would help for sure. Is it? Like having like a really flat surface to move the mouse is important, because otherwise it would just, the strokes that I make would be like all over the place, which would be neat. Like it would give it a little bit of style, like jaggedy style or whatever. But you know, if I want to make like a more smoother line, it will be a lot more difficult. So now adding these highlights there, they're definitely giving it more dimension. It looks great. But yeah, it's fun to add the highlights, because you can definitely make it like pop out. Oof. I'll have to come back to this and add some more highlights. Alright. Man, it looks like he has braided hair back here. I didn't mean for that to appear that way. Yeah. I think Zelda is the one that has like braided hair back here. I might have to fix that. I don't know how it came up like that. Yeah, let's make it look like it's the hair is like blowing that way. I should make some of these hairs a little longer or something. Alright. It's probably important to make it fade out. Alright. So, oh, I do want to add some shine to the hair, but kind of want to make it a little... Keep it till maybe next time or something, but let's just get a little preview and see how it would turn out. One way to make his hair more blonde looking is to add like really shiny shines to some of the strands, like so, especially for this part here. Just little bits here and there, sprinkle some in, little streaks. Not too much. Like they're more like highlights, and that's basically what they are, just highlights. Frosted tips if you want. That way they look a little more lively, you know. Because he is under the light. Yeah, there you go. You can only notice it a little bit though. Not so much. Could go a little bit lighter, but I think somewhere midway point between the yellow and the white. It's like 50% yellow, 50% white. That's the middle ground. Oh yeah, it's definitely coming out. Definitely coming out. I also don't want to overdo it. If you do too much, it will probably look more metallic. Like his, you know, his hair is made out of metal. There you go, something like that. Oh man. Yeah, I still feel like I need to maybe fix his facial features a little more. Add some more shading to it or something. And also some highlights. But we'll probably have to get to it next time. Alright. I think I might want to start wrapping this up. Save it. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, let's see. So yeah, I think this will be it for tonight's session. Alright. Boom, 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 boom. Oh man, yeah, definitely more details. Just a little bit more details than how it was before. Got more details on the glove, the hair, sharpened it up a little bit. Fixed the eyes a little bit. We added some of the chains to the arms. Not sure how I'm gonna do this part because this part here is supposed to have like malice or whatever. His shirt is supposed to be destroyed a bit, like half of his shirt, like ripped out, as opposed to how it appears on the statue. It's not as ripped, you know. And then I want to somehow make his arm glow, so I definitely have to think about that. And look, maybe look at other photos to see how the straps are wrapped around his arm. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research to see that. But yeah, I might hop onto this next Wednesday. So tomorrow, I'm still unsure what I want to do. It probably won't be Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Likely be another like throwback to a different game, so we'll see. Anyways, thanks all for joining in. Thanks for listening to my rants and chats about the new Super Mario Brothers movie, which, in one word, fantastic. Fantastic film. Yeah, see it when you can, because I enjoyed it. Alright, so I'm gonna take off from now. Yourselves a wonderful night in our day, and I'll see you next one. Later.
See you next time!